Last problem. Write a script file. Okay, save, script file, cam function.m. Done that, woohoo! I calculate the motion of a specific cam design as described by the following piecewise function. Okay, so this is a piecewise function, which means there's lots of different little y's. Your script file must calculate each set of y separately using a spacing of pi over 100. So here's my spacing. Do each set independently. So that means I need to create, let's see, I've got 6 different sets of functions to calculate. So I'm going to calculate my theta values, or T1 is going to go from 0. My spacing is pi over 100, so I'll type s equals pi over 100. So T1 is going to be 0 spacing, and then I end at pi over 2. Note, it's less than pi over 2, not less than or equals 2. So I'm just going to subtract my spacing, just so that I'm not quite at that pi over 2 value, I'm 1 before it. And then y1 equals that function 6 times 2 times t1 minus 0.5 times sine of t1 divided by pi. Okay, there's my first set of numbers. Repeat for my second set of numbers. T2 goes from pi over 2. My spacing stays the same. And then 2 times pi over 3. Okay. So keep in mind, once again, that it's not quite, pi over 3, it's not quite equals 2. It's just less than. So I'm going to subtract my spacing. So it's the one right before it. And then y2 is going to be 6. So it's 6 for the entire distance. So it's going to be 6 times 1's size of t2. And then I have t3. T3 goes from 2 times pi over 3 at my spacing. 4 times pi over 3. Once again, it's not quite equals 2. It's less than. And then I calculate y3. That calculation, I did this last week or yesterday, so I'm just going to enter that in and copy and paste it over. These are element by element calculations, so you can go through and add in your period in front of all of your multiplication signs, your division signs, and your exponential and exponent signs just in case. I don't think there's going to be an issue for any of these really, but we can always just put those in just in case. T4, 4 times pi over 3. My spacing stays the same, all the way to 3 times pi over 2, minus my spacing. Once again, just less than. Y4 is equal to 3 the whole time. So 3 times 1 size of T4. My bad, use the right one. And then I'd repeat for the last two. So T4 is going to be from 3 pi over 2. Same spacing, all the way until 7 times pi over 4. Minus my spacing, because I want to be right up to, not quite past it. This is T5, my bad. And then I do my y calculation using T5. And lastly, T6. T6 is going to go from 7 times pi over 4, my spacing, all the way until 2 times pi. Note it's less than or equals 2. It's less than or equals 2, so I don't need to subtract my spacing. And then Y7 or Y6 is going to look like this. Okay, so I've done each set separately. To create your final Y and theta, concatenate into one final vector. So I can say that my final theta or final T is going to be T1 next to T2, next to T3, next to T4, next to T5, next to T6. So now they're all nicely compact into one. There should be no repeating of numbers. If you didn't subtract the spacing, that means 2 times pi over 3 would show up twice. And we don't want it to show up twice. We want it to show up once. Y equals same thing. y1 next to y2 next to y3 next to y4 next to y5 next to y6. There we go. Technically, I'm done with this problem. There's no printing out I need to do, but if I want to double check to see if my code does things correctly, I can plot it if I really wanted to. Plot t comma y. Let's run it and see what happens. So this is what it looks like. So you can see it is a piecewise function. Here's the first part, second part, third part, fourth part, fifth part, sixth part. If you want to plot a piecewise function, I encourage you to plot it with a bunch of periods so that you can see each separate section. We can see section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Not required on your exam. Plotting is not on your exam, but it is a piecewise function, so I just wanted to plot it because pi over 100 is a very small spacing. And if you notice in your workspace, t is 1 by 99. Same thing with y. Our final y vectors are 1 by 99. So that's a little bit more than I want to actually look at. But that's how you would do a piecewise function. You could also do it using a loop and if statements. You could check to see if, so loop over t from 0 to 2 pi, and then check to see if t is in each range. That would work as well. Fill in y one value at a time, but you do not have to do that for a piecewise function. So I wanted to show you what it looks like to do it without looping.